Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I am Grandmaster Shaymin and today we are going to be playing a brand new visual novel here for you guys. To start things off, if you guys have been wondering where I have been, I know it's been a week since I've uploaded. I am so sorry, but as I've said multiple times before, uploading might be a little bit inconsistent due to things that are going on in my life, along with, other things. I think that all things considered, a week off isn't going to be too big of a deal. I certainly hope it isn't, seeing as, I'm back now. That's what matters, doesn't it? So we're going to get right on into things here as we're going to start playing the Wilting Amaranth. And just so you guys know, alright, the reason I have been gone so much is because I have been studying Japanese along with some other things. Again, working 40 hours a week is kind of massive. It takes a lot of time and effort to work 40 hours a week. But now I've got time. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to enjoy this time with you, let you know I'm back. But because I've been studying Japanese a lot, I haven't been able to upload over the last few days up to a week now, and I greatly apologize for that. I memorized hiragana, katakana, and some kanji as well over the last week. I've been spending literally every moment doing that, and now I'm ready for a break, and I'm ready to get back into this, which I greatly enjoy, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So without further ado, we're going to get right on into it. Once upon a time. Great start. Once upon a time, there was a witch who lived alone in a tower. In the past, many had tried to kill her, but they rarely returned with all of their wits. In fact, this became so common that no one ever dared go near the witch's tower. Not until a brave young rogue accepted a hefty bounty to find this accursed enchantress. The rogue was never seen again. Our story, however, starts much later. The moon and stars shine across the land, speckling the inky blackness with their light. On this night, the witch casts her spell. Every celestial body that can be seen from Earth becomes the witch's eyes as she searches for a heart that sparkles like no other. She is perfect. Far away, a beauty like no other stares up at the sky. In her tears, the stars dance. Before the iridescent beauty of the moon absorbs the troubles in her heart. Even more profound than the woman's beauty is her loneliness, an emotion so strong that it shatters the stars above, causing them to fall from the sky. I never asked for this. A small star becomes trapped inside the watery confines of the beauty's tears. When the droplets hit the floor, they explode. I'm not gonna lie, the terminology and the way this reads is actually coming off really well. I would like to see some voice acting, even if it was in Japanese, but, you can't ask for too much. It's only like a $4 game. So, and it's brand new, so. The witch jumps away from the cauldron. What's happening? The cauldron shakes, but she simply continues to watch. Oh my god! The beauty's tears continue to catch stars as they fall, until one final explosion erupts from the cauldron and throws the witch clear across the room. She opens her eyes, waking up to a painful weight on her chest. She tries to stand, forcing the weight to shift, but then it begins to groan. You're here! The beauty from the cauldron lays upon the witch, curled up in layers of black fabric that suit her long raven hair. The woman named Amarante is a princess, blessed with all of the luxuries that her fortune and position bring. Yet she is bare... bare... bereft? Bereft. The space is throwing me off. Bereft of everything they cannot deliver. And this is where our story begins. Oh, now we're in first person. My eyelids blink open. Oh, we are the chick that's been summoned. Okay. What a strange dream. I sit up and the twinkling light blinds my vision for a split second before vanishing. Perhaps I should not have been so hasty in getting up. I touch my head as the dull throbbing behind my ears slowly burns out. How strange. Where am I? My eyes are instantly drawn to what is simultaneously the nicest and most dreadful part of the room, a solitary window that is shielded by an ordnate lattice. Unfortunately, the barred windows and a 50-foot drop to the ground do not instill me with feelings of safety. Rather, it is quite the opposite. What kind of person could possibly live in a place like this? I search the room for an answer. The photos on the walls seem to have lost their color to the years, and the chests do not open easily. I manage to lift one of the heavy lids a few inches before it slips from my hands and seals shut again, expelling clouds of dust in the process. I choke and bat the dust away. I need to get out of here. Mother and father must be worried sick, and I will be... I could not bring myself to finish the thought. Instead, I decide to continue my search by checking the door. To my utter disbelief, it is not locked. Oh, thank the stars! I leave the room and set off down a series of long, winding stairs. I tiptoe down the steps, always careful to try and peer around the next bend before taking another. Each step leaves me more winded than the last, and I am forced to rest for a moment. How long must one train be able to walk around here without fainting? My eyes wander from wall to wall, taking in the surroundings. I cannot help but admire all the latticed windows, each slightly different from the last. At least it's a scenic walk. I continue on. With each full circle, I watch the view outside slowly descend deeper into the surrounding woods. I feel like a setting sun. Why would you be happy? Why are you smiling right now? You just woke up in this strange tower and you're like, I feel like the setting sun. Oh my god. I stop to bask in the warmth. Why are you stopping? Why is she stopping? That shines through the window, imagining that I have truly become the warm celestial entity. Yep, that's what I do. I'm like, you know what would be cool if I became the sun? I'm not quite sure what this place is, and for my own sake, I am hesitant to call it prison just yet. All the same, it is rather beautiful. Oh, what? Oh, those are candles. I thought it was like a freaking egg splattered on the wall. As the gloom of the surrounding forest begins to block out the sunlight, a scattering of candles compensates for the lack of natural light. Several are burnt out, while others are piled together like hordes of waxy mushrooms. Wherever I walk, I feel the slick of melted wax beneath my feet. That's dangerous. Someone must be living here. And I still do not know what they plan to do with me, but I will never know if I do not ask. So, against my better judgment, and nearly every lesson I have ever been taught, I call out, "Hello!" Unnecessary. My voice rings around the staircase and bounces back to me several times in strange, unearthly echoes. What a silly idea that was. I continue down, ultimately feeling foolish. Hello? A voice. Although I want to speak out, I start to doubt whether or not I am ready to come face to face with whoever owns this place. What kind of person would wish to live here? Not one I would be pleasant to meet, I am sure, especially if they are the cause of all this confusion. Hey! Don't get cold feet now! Can you hear me? Can you move? Yes, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if I wasn't gonna move, how would I get down the stairs? Where do you think I am? Then move those feet and get down here already. Jesus, so demanding. A long moment passes. Please? Oh, not as demanding, okay. At least she feels bad. I slowly continue down the stairs. My mind toils with the thought of what may lie in store for me. None more pleasant than the last. After what feels like several minutes of descent, I am greeted by the sight of a door. Are you in there? My hand moves on its own accord, trying to twist the knob on the pure instinct. Realizing it to be far too late to ponder the consequences, I step inside the room. I do not know if I am happy or disappointed to find myself alone again. Nope. Try again. What a bitch. Seriously, you're gonna play hide and seek in your own house? Jeez, come on. Every time the voice speaks, I become more nervous about actually finding them. I peer at my surroundings. I'm in a dining room with a collection of crockery, but none of them seem to have a match. Teacups with small saucers and plates with large forks. It is as if someone raided a junk pile to gather all of these things. The way this is written, I just want to speak in a British accent. I do not believe one could ever possibly gain weight from their meals after such a long journey. I chuckle to myself, however inappropriate it is. I had best not linger here any longer. I need to find the exit and get home quickly. Returning to the stairwell, I continue to head downwards. Spiral after spiral, I start to feel dizzy merely from keeping my eyes open. Are you still there? Not like I can go anywhere. What do you mean? You'll know when you get here. With a sigh of relief, I locate yet another door. More in my right mind than before, I begin to press my ear against the door and listen for any signs of life beyond it. No matter how long I wait, however, I do not hear a thing, so I decide to keep going. Feels like I would never reach the bottom. In an attempt to entertain myself, I begin counting my steps. 17, 18, 19, 52, 53, 54, 88, 89. Another 98 steps. After 89? After 89, you have another... Okay. There's yet another door. Unlike the previous ones, however, its knob appears to be rather worn out. The brilliant gold cover is faded on the part where a hand would grip it. This is a good sign, I believe, assuming no one dangerous lies in wait. That's what I would assume. You were trapped at the top of a giant tower. I pause, listening the best I can. Whoever they are, they have hella quads. I'm just telling you right now, their quadriceps and hamstrings and calf muscles have to be top notch. I begin to get scared at, the fact that they haven't skipped leg day. I still do not hear anyone. Well, I have nothing to lose. Hey! Holy shit! Oh my god. Before I push the door open, a voice shouts at me again. Are you gonna be much longer? At this rate, I'ma be dead before you get here. Yo, now she's freaking... Yo, dead? Just a turn of phrase, babe. Yep, this person is definitely like a former basketball player. That's all I get from this. Yo, just a turn of phrase, babe. But come on, you gotta keep me waiting this long? You better be hella cute to make up for this. What? What is this dialogue? Okay. I'm trying my best. Bitch! Yeah, and I'd really appreciate it more if you got if your best got you here a lot sooner. Do you realize how rude you're being right now? Yo, I love how she has her expressions on the little person down here. Yo, I hear that, and I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize properly for not speaking to you according to how one should speak to a person such as yourself. But when you have to shout like this, it's kind of hard to sound cordial, as one would like. You understand me, cuz? I suppose so. The voice has a strange way of speaking. Damn straight it does. Jesus, I feel like I'm playing basketball with somebody. But I think I understand them. They are probably just frustrated as I am, so I should not keep them waiting any longer. I'm coming. Please hold on a bit longer. Doing something that I rightfully realize is dangerous, I take the steps three, 4, or even 5 at a time. I said I would hurry, and I plan on keeping that promise. Man, she is rushing. Whoa there, Silva! You almost passed me. I stop and look back into an alcove in the wall. Unlike the other hallways, it has no door. It simply opens into a darkened room. I climb up the stairs and I'm shocked to see a woman gripping at the bars of a prison cell. What? Oh, this is the chick? No way! I thought it was gonna be the freaking sorceress chick, but this is who talks like hella cute. Yo. Well, you are cute, that's for sure. That kind of thing can be hard to tell by a voice, but I had a feeling you'd be worth the wait. You're a woman. That's a good point. Amarante. What, you thought I wasn't? Sorry, if I'm too loud, I'm gonna pull my mic away a little bit. But you are. In a cell, yo? Not speaking as a woman should. Oh, this is 'cause I called you cute? Being a woman don't make me a liar. It sure don't make me blind either. Okay. Yo, I'm probably better suited to appreciate a cute girl like you. Anyway, being one myself, I know what to look for. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Haha, I should have known by your drags that you were a bit green. Her drags? Her drags. Yo, no wonder you're not shaking in your boots 'cause of this here current situation. Coming from your kind of life must really get one comfy with the idea of being locked in some tower. Ellipses. Yo, you got all that right? I shake my head. The woman nearly falls over herself. Whoa, weren't you listening to one of it? Come on. I'm sorry. My mind is already preoccupied with figuring out where I am and how I might return home. Yo, I suppose that's a fair thing to be concerned about. By any chance, do you know who lives here? You mean you don't already know? The imprisoned woman looks at me with a pitiful expression and snorts loudly. Are they bad? Yo, the worst. How else do you think I wound up in here? Oh god. Yo, exactly. It don't make much sense. None at all. I mean, look at me. I ain't big, I ain't strong, I'm just me, and I can't do anything but live my life. And try to make my mom's last day the best they can be. Yo, I did all that I could for her, but she got sicker and sicker, and I just got desperate, yo. Then I heard about this place. Said that the woman who lives here could help cure anything, but it all came at cost. I sure found that out the hard way. All I want to do is get home to my ma, but I can't. Not without her getting her some of that medicine. Oh, choices! Okay, I know this has multiple endings. I'm sorry to hear that. And that's how you got locked up in here. I feel like those are very similar, but I kind of want to know a little bit more, so I'm going to ask her if that's how she got, if she ended up in here. Yo, well, I wouldn't be telling you that story if it weren't. Fair enough. Story? Yeah, story. You know, like Punzel. Just the story has me in it, instead of some long-haired princess. Okay. I mean, your hair's tied up. It's not that short. I'm not sure that I believe your story. That is the What? Yo. Yo, bitch. Yo. What reason you have to doubt me? I don't know you. Why should I trust you? You could be the evil person that we're looking for. Yo, I don't know you either, but I'm in here and you're out there. So I'm in no position to question your integrity, yo. I mean, you haven't even told me your name yet. But you have not told me yours either. Jeez, okay, this is getting obnoxious. Yo, sounds to me we didn't start this here relationship right. And now we ain't got the kind of trust that could really stand up in times of doubt. But you ain't gotta doubt me. I am my word. Yo, without it, I'd just be another poor woman looking at the next meal and trying to help her sick ma. I mean, that's what you're doing, is it not? I mean, that's true. Yo, well, my name's Priya. Like Prius, but with a ya in it. I hope a first name basis is alright with you, but I ain't got a last one, so it's gonna have to do. Yo, 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 yo! Got some rhyming up in here. Amarante. Yo, that's a mouthful, bitch. let me try and say that. Abadabate. No, I ain't got that. Ron is fine. Why Ron? Why not Ama? Or Yo, Ronte would be perfect. Yo, Ronte! Ron, that ain't no nickname. You should just be called Cutie or Sweetness. Damn, this chick's getting out the lines right here. Good job, Priya. Something more like you. That's embarrassing. Oh yeah, her face is so red. Oh, it's so cute. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I can feel ya on that front. Yo, if someone hit on me like that, how am I supposed to respond to something like that? Mother always said what I liked was a mistake. A childish confusion. Wait, what? What does that mean? But I'm not a child, and neither is Priya. Yo, so I'll be Sweetness. What can I call ya? How about... It's... Oh no. Oh, yo, I type it in. Yo. Yo, can I... Um... Uh... How about Yuri God? Yo, not what I'd go for, but hey, why not, Yuri God? You can just type in whatever you want, dude. Okay. I'm starting to think that this was not such a great idea after all. Yo, I'm gonna change this. The Tale of Yuri God. Yo, can I update that? Is that updated? Yeah, boy. I'm starting to think that this was not a great idea after all. Hearing Priya say it is more embarrassing than I expect. Now that that's covered... Yo, now that that's covered, let's work on getting out of here. See that key hanging over yonder? Bring it to me, yo. A southern. Priya points at the wall where a large key hangs on a protruding spike. Yo, I'm confused. How the fuck does Priya's voice travel that high up? That just doesn't make any logical sense. Yo, are you sure this is okay? Yo, sure it can be. Why ain't ya? Don't you trust me? Yeah, I gotta open the cell. Let's go. Yes. I pull this key off the spike, and it's heavier than I expect. Atta girl, now bring it over here. That lock's a bit stiff on the stiff side. Okay, we unlocked the door. I'm not gonna lie, I like Priya. Priya, yeah. It takes the both of us to turn the key, but once it's unlocked, Priya smashes her shoulder on the door, forcing it to creak wide open. Goodness, she's a lot stronger than I expected. I try to step back. To my surprise, however, Priya pulls me into a tight hug. Yo, should I kiss you for that sort of heroic rescue? Yes? Oh. Heroic? I only retrieved the key. And boy, did you do it well. I mean, I like my freedom, but if you had to look at something for eternity, your backside would sure be up there on the list, yo. What? Brian, you need to calm down. My what? So Amarante here is a proper prim girl, and then fucking Priya, dude. I like it. I pull away from Priya, but it is very clear that her mischievous smile, that she's proud of her uncouth little quip. You should not say things like that. It is unbecoming of a lady, or even a gentleman for that matter. No one should speak that way. Yo, well, tell me when you get tired of being a lady and maybe that other thing. Though, if my inkling is anything to go by, you gave up on the ladder some time ago. What are you implying, you impertinent? Priya looks around as if she is searching for some other soul that has the capacity to make sense of her jests. When none appear, she simply shrugs and carries on. Yo, I could explain it, but we ain't here to play house, Yuri God. We got some exploring to do. I didn't get a good look at everything before I was snatched and stuffed in that cell, but I can't be too hard to find my way around. We step out into the hallway, but Priya suddenly stops and looks back at me with an embarrassing amount of intensity. She looks like a kitchen cat when it's on the hunt. Yo, hey, Yuri God, tell me. See anything on way down here? No, I only met you. Yo, good, then we might just pull off this jailbreak. Come on. The woman practically drags me up the stairs. I had thought walking down them was a trial in itself, but walking up them proves to be more difficult than I could have ever imagined. Wait, why are you going up? How on earth are you supposed to get out of there? Are you going to climb down the outside of the freaking building? Priya keeps a constant pace, which is faster than I will ever be capable of maintaining. Eventually, she releases my hand and takes off ahead. I trail further and further behind until I cannot see her anymore, no matter how fast I try to climb the stairs. Whoa! Priya! The sound of a door opening and closing echoes throughout the stairwell, filling me with a terrible feeling that I am all alone again. Priya? Yo, I'm in here! Where? Oh... I have to guess? Why don't I just ask for confirmation? The dining room? Yo, oh. We're choosing... Yo, the dining room now, hurry up. We can't go on treating this like our playground. We gotta be quick about it. How did you get all the way up there so quickly? Priya's stamina is truly impressive. I would prefer it, however, if she was not at a level that is so impossible to keep up with. I lift the hem of my dress and hike up the stairs, trying to pace myself unlike last time. To my shock, I get there in record time, however it still takes much longer than Priya likes. Yo man, you're slow! I could have swept the whole place myself by now. I'm nice enough to wait for a lady, of course, but next time I won't be so easy on ya. She laughs and slapping me on the shoulder and forcing the last bit of air right out of my lungs. Yo, whoa! That clown really took a puff out of you, didn't it, Yuri God? I mean, yeah, it's a long time. Taking notice of the chairs sitting around the wooden table, I think about sitting down and resting for a moment. But I promised that I would help Priya continue searching. Yo, if you're tired, you can sit down. I ain't gonna stop ya. Feeling both guilty and thankful, I sit down to rest my aching feet. I do take a look around the room and merely end up watching Priya dig through the chests and cupboards. I make a lot of noise, throwing things around and making loud, ugly sounds as she works. Aha! Yo, beautiful! Mama missed you! And she just accepts that. Yeah, what is it? Did you find something? Priya shakes her head. But I see something glimmer as she tucks it away in her clothes. Yo, not much here but the kitchen stuff. Unless you want me to fix you some eggs, we better get out of here. Now that you mention it, I have not eaten in a while. I would love some... Yo, that wasn't a real suggestion, Yuri God. Now come on. Priya shuts the door behind us and walks on ahead. Thankfully, she's not as fast as before. Outside of the tower, it has grown darker. The sun is set below the trees. We still have not found the key, and it will be too dark to leave soon. I grip my dress, trying to find some composure and steady my shaking hand. I know I need not worry, but the thought of spending another night here... Priya reaches out to touch my hand, and I instinctively try to pull away, but she does not let me. Instead, she tugs forward, wrapping her arms around me. Yo, don't worry, Yuri God, it will be okay. I wish to return home. Yo, you will. The brunette lets me go, giving me a final pat on the shoulder. I must sound so pathetic, but Priya is so patient with me. I'm used to the former, but the latter just makes me want to take advantage of the situation and cry. But I cannot. I know I cannot. Yet I want to do it more than anything. You have been so kind to me. Thank you. When we leave, I would like to repay you somehow. Yo, how'd you plan on doing that? Once I return home, I'm sure my family will reward you handsomely for all you've done for me. Yo, but that's not what you said, so I'm gonna ask again. Yo, how are you gonna repay me? Oh, me? I have no money. You have other things, though. Priya steps closer to me, far too close. I felt her hand tug on the front of my dress, and her eyes stare unapologetically into mine. Yo, where's the picture? I need the picture of that scene. Oh, please stop doing things like this. I said I was not... Yo, but I am. You are? Priya starts to laugh with all of the strength of her heart. It is so loud I can imagine the entire world can hear her. Yo, well, if the witch doesn't get you first, naivety will. The witch? The laughter stops abruptly. Whatever do you mean by the witch? Although the smile remains on her face, nervousness fractures it in her smile. Her wide-eyed joy dulls. Like a bad person, yo, like... So, this is what you've been hiding from... Holy shit, man, this music's so intense! Yo, so this is what you've been hiding from me. Yo, you're overthinking it. It's like how people call my cow or... I've never once called your mother a cow. Yo, well, maybe not to her face, but you must have said it or something like it. People are always finding ways to compare others to animals, making things easier to understand. Perhaps I'm not entirely innocent of that. Yo, like when my pa thought... what are we... No, the witch. And then now we're on this weird tangent. Yo, like when my pa thought it was time to warn me that all men were nothing but wolves. They'd eat me alive if I wasn't careful. Well, when he found out I wasn't inclined in that way, he told me a story about women. And that they're all witches, especially nice ones. And they steal your soul and make you do awful, unimaginable things. Yo, her dad sounds very intense. And more intense than this music, that's for sure. Yo, and the person that lives here, she's that kind of witch. Not the kind you're thinking of, but the bad kind. I shake my head and keep shaking it. I do not think I will ever stop. Not until everything goes away. Not until I'm back home, sleeping in my own bed with my parents rustling in the living area. There are no witches. I've heard too many stories about them. Too many good people have been hurt by what they do. I cannot stay here. There must be somewhere I can go, somewhere I can hide from this. Oh stars, what am I to do? Yo, calm down! How can I? I've been kidnapped by a witch, and I don't even know how to get out of here. How will we ever escape? She'll come after us, curse us, or perhaps do something much, much worse. Yo, look at me, Amarante! You said my name. Priya rolls her eyes. Yeah, looks like I frickin' did. Now keep your cool and come on. Okay, that's good that the intensity calmed down. She takes my hand and walks me up the stairs. I follow behind her, but I find it hard to keep my cool, as she said. Things are far worse than I imagined. If it were not for Priya, I don't think I would ever know what to do. I try to break free from Priya's hold, but her grip simply tightens. Yo, listen to me. You're going to keep your cool, go upstairs and sleep it off. The woman's grip continues to tighten. I start to feel the panic swell up once more. Yo, if you see the owner of this place, not a word of this. We didn't meet. We don't know each other. There's no telling what could happen if she found that out. Do you understand? Yes, although I'm not completely sure that I do. My imagination is still running away with me. Just what could this witch be like? I do not understand. Yo, good. Priya releases me and nods. I cradle my hand, slowly feeling the blood rush back into my fingers. Is she scared too? Yo, what you looking at? Nothing. Fine, great, whatever. Just help me back into the cell. Help her shut the cell door and put the key back onto the hook. I do not feel right about leaving her down here, though. I do not even feel right about going back to my room all by myself. The stairs have become so dark now. Are you sure there's not some way that I can... Yeah, I'm sure. Just do what I told you, alright? We gotta make everything look like it's all hunky-dory. That can't ruin the surprise before we get ready. Because it ain't a surprise if she knows. This'll work, right? Yo, sure it will. We're in this together, remember? Priya gives me a brave smile. I'm so glad that you're here with me, Priya. If you do what I say, we'll keep it that way, so don't do anything you shouldn't. You have my word. I'd rather have your lips. Then, you may have them. Yo, we're so bold! Yo, a little more north than I meant, but we can work on that, yo! I laugh, shaking off the embarrassment and the fluffy feeling in my stomach. Before I can continue my thoughts, Priya steps away from the bars and, with one gallant swoop of her arm, bows to me. Yo, good night, Hime-sama. Till tomorrow. And good night to you as well, woman of the knightly persuasion. The way she talks is freaking ridiculous. We both laugh and I curtsy to her. I start walking up from the prison, but before I begin the long climb up at the top of the tower, I look back. Priya walks further into the cell where the moonlight casts a stream of white light over her. I do not believe I have ever seen Priya look so still. It is as if the moon had turned her into something that was not quite human. Good night, Priya. Finally, I'm back in the bedroom. My thoughts roam free, although I know no good will come of lamenting. I cannot find much to be positive about, as I am ready myself for slumber. We have failed to secure ourselves a way out of this place, and now I know that this situation is far more dire than I first anticipated. The only silver lining is that this is when I start to realize that there is not one. I think of Priya, and no matter how hard she must have tried to shield me from reality, it was almost sweet, the lengths that she would go to make me feel better. However, I know that I am so very much alone in this room. I start to think of what can be when I'm free. Priya and I will find the key. I shall return home, and no more trouble will arise. As my mind begins to spin with the possibilities, ominous yellow sparks flash before my eyes. I shut them to try and focus on happier thoughts. Just remember, Amarante, that you will be a married woman. Not a single expense was spared for the wedding, and one cannot miss their own wedding, even if because of things such as this. Whoa, she's engaged! And she just kissed the chick on the forehead. That's intense. Okay. My internal voice does not sound at all like my own, but still I continue with it in hopes that the yellow flashes of light will fade, that all my hopes will vanish along with it. Yeah! I close my head and the light becomes brighter. I feel a strange pain beginning to throb straight behind my eyes. Do not lose sight of what really matters, Amarante. Think of the gown you will wear, and all the effort put in by the others. Stop. I smother my face into the pillow, but the pain will not go away. No matter what I do, say, or think, everything around me swirls together. Still, the sparks continue to torment me. In this veil of pain, the only thing I know is that this is not the life I want. I sleep for what feels like hours upon hours, and I do not dream. It is simplest. At its simplest, it feels like I'm pretending to sleep. At its strangest, I feel like I'm walking around within pure emptiness. Though I suppose one could say that this is a dream in and of itself. Regardless of the truth behind it, I am happy when I finally wake up. I sit up and look at the door, the events of yesterday slowly returning as I climb out of bed. I look to my clothes and gather them, hurrying to put them on while knocking continues incessantly. When I open the door, but then I hear the door open and just as suddenly close again. Oh, stars! Yo, what? I pull the dress over my head and smooth it out, debating whether or not I should maintain the propriety. Blah, man. This is a witch I'm dealing with after all. One wrong move and she will turn me into a toad. However, that is no excuse for rudeness. I push my shoulders back, lift my head up high, and stand in the center of the room, ready for whomever is there. You may enter. There she is! The witch! Strands of long, pink hair are the first thing that I see when the door inches open. The unknown woman shuffles inside, carrying a bowl that looks far too hot for her to safely hold. The moment she lifts her head, our eyes met. A blush spreads across her face, a face that is far more lovely than I had ever imagined. Could this truly be the witch? She opens her mouth to speak, but then looks back down at her feet. She continues standing by the door, constantly shifting from foot to foot, but not saying a thing. Are you a witch? The woman slowly nods. Did you? The woman shakes her head, stops, and then nods again. The moment passes and she shakes her head once more. A long, awkward silence fills the room. It is only interrupted by the sound of the woman's hyperventilating. I... Slowly, she lifts the bowl to her face, presenting it to me to see. Her hands quiver, but I doubt it is from the weight of the object. I came to... Failing to finish her sentence, she rushes to walk past me and then places the bowl on a stack of books that wobble from the motion. With that, the woman continues to stand there, keeping her head low and her hands clamped onto her dress. Please eat. She motions to the bowl, and the hunger instantly builds up inside me. It has been far too long since I have eaten anything, but there is no way I can trust something like her. She will certainly poison me or fatten me up to eat. Whatever her dastardly plan is, I must do everything in my power not to fall prey to it. I'm sorry. There was no food yesterday, so I went out to get some, and I took, The witch mumbles before falling silent again. She waves her hand toward the bowl this time, lifting her head just enough that I could see her lips part to speak again, but I still could not hear her. I am not hungry. She nods, but she doesn't move. Her head lowers even farther past her shoulders, until she practically is bowing to me. Are you not, do I make you, The woman rocks back and forth on her feet, slowly scrunching her dress until the hem rises far too high. I look away, and the woman's hands unclench as the strange whimper escapes her mouth. Can I say something? Food, I lied. There was food here before, but I didn't know what you liked, so I bought more because I wasn't sure how to ask. That's cute. I have lots of food now, so you can eat whatever you want, because I bought more. She wavers. Her voice, no, her whole body. The shaking is entirely visible. I sold I beg your pardon? In a flurry of pink hair, the woman throws her head back up and sticks out her hand to me. Her face is burnt red, and her wide, deer-like eyes stare straight at me. My name is Solei. She shouts at me, perhaps accidentally, while her hand hangs in space between us, shaking maniacally. The pale light from the moon catches the traces of sweat still on her hand and the droplets falling from her brows. And, sorry. You're sorry? She nods. It seems that she has decided to return to bowing her head and scrunching up her dress nervously. Why am I here? Huh? You're the witch who brought me here, are you not? So tell me why. Isolde winces, gently stepping away from me as I am the threat here and not her. I didn't mean for it to go that far. I just wanted to find you. And then I did, and I knew when I saw you, I mean, asking if... saying, you kidnapped me? Is a snarky remark, but I feel like, in character, what did you know sounds a lot more accurate. A lot, but mostly nothing, and sometimes you can tell a lot of things just from a glance. When I saw you, there was more. You were beautiful, but also... No, I didn't mean that. I mean, I did mean that. I wasn't meant to say She's really cute, actually. It's kind of like what I do when I get nervous. I start stuttering and not being able to speak right, especially when there's, you know, a really cute chick there, you know. Even though, you know, I'm entirely unattractive, so it's not like I will get anything from it, but still. She collapses into the empty chair behind her, gasping so hard that I can hear her ragged breaths from across the room. She clasps and unclasps her hand, looking everywhere but at me. Then finally she turns back around, but she has such a look of terror that it almost feels like I am the one that kidnapped her. I shake my head, picking up the bowl from atop the books and beginning to eat from it. Once I'm done with this, it'll be much easier to make her leave. Solei simply sits and watches me. After a while, the color returns to her face and she no longer looks afraid. Do you like it? Yes. She nods. Her small smile opens up, showing an awkward glimpse of teeth that are surprisingly not pitch black. You assume witches have black teeth? Yo, too much black. They way too much sugar. Way too much sugar. Damn witches, man. They're not even crooked. Are witches not meant to look ugly? I continue to stare at her mouth, but she then clamps her lips over her teeth, her head lowers, and she shields her entire face from me again. I continue to eat, finishing everything in the bowl before handing it back to Isolde. I enjoyed it. I try to not let my face show my confusion. I hope this witch doesn't plan on watching me eat all the time. She holds the bowl to her chest, looking down at it as if I have given her some great gift and not just a dirty bowl. I'm sorry, I lied again. I didn't mean to say it, but I never said it out loud before to someone. You're... The more she tries to speak, the darker her blush becomes. She drops her head and nods. Good night! Wait, isn't it morning? Isolde runs out the door, slamming it behind her. I sit on the bed, my head dropping into my hands as I feel the weight of what has just passed pressing it down upon me. The witch was not as I had expected in some ways, but in others, I shiver at the remembrance of the way she looked at me, studying me as if I were a butterfly with her wings pinned to the frame. Then the sound of chirping comes from outside. The night is just about to give over to the day, and the fatigue of everything snaps the last ounces of energy from me. Removing my dress, I lay back down to try and sleep a little longer. I'm crying. Why am I crying? Well, you're probably crying because you're freaking trapped in a castle? Or a tower? I try to open my eyes, but I cannot. I move. My hands will not move, and my eyes will not open, but the tears come rolling down my face. We thought long and hard about this, Amarante. Oh, Mother! It is for the best, but my stars, girl, pay attention. Father! I look for them in the darkness, but there is no one around. Just their disembodied voices telling me that they have always told me, what I know better than my own name. Once you get married, you shall no longer have this affliction. I'm not sick, Mother. Truly, I am not. And if you cannot manage to cure yourself, well, you had best be damn well more inclined to fake it once you're married. Married women do not have the luxuries of maidens. They have their reputations to think about and no fathers to rescue them. But I need not be rescued, father. Have you tried so hard to save... I've tried so hard to save you from this Amarante, but your wandering eyes keep getting the better of you. Oh, it's not like that. Oh, it's so hard to tell. Like, I wish it said father above it, so that way I can, like, at least make a voice for it. I only loved... It was such a waste, having her sent away. She was a good maid. But I loved her. Oh, she fell in love with the maid, and I get it, because this is olden times, so this is, like, hardcore, like... The extremist nowadays is considered pretty normal back at that point. At least I think so. It depends on what part of the globe you're at, I suppose. You know, back in, like, for instance, I've learned some Japanese culture or history while I've been learning Japanese, and they apparently had some gay generals and people in their history from a long time ago, and it wasn't until Western culture kind of came in that they started having not really an aversion, but kind of showing indifference rather than acceptance. At least that's what I've read and I've been told watching various videos. But considering that she's probably British, it makes sense that she would have to fake it. A sharp pain hits me and my hands clench the bed sheets. Still, my eyes will not open. Why am I stuck here in this dream, this nightmare? Why am I remembering this? The wedding will be next week. The sooner, the better. Then she will be for him to deal with. In the dream, I get up and run. Run from the shadows of my parents that cast over me, from the pain in my chest that threatens to burst at any moment if I cannot get it out. Get it all out and finally not have to agree with them. I was so close. But then she told them about my confession. It is not enough to simply send her away. They are sending me away as well. I keep running until the coldness runs through my body. A light falls from the sky, illuminating all the blackness and embedding itself within my tears. I never wanted this. Once I finish getting dressed, I decide that the best person to see about all this is Priya. She has known the witch longer than I have and will be able to shed light on what she could possibly done to make me feel so conflicted. There's no doubt in my mind that those memories are my own, but the feeling I get from them and Isolde cannot be real. She cannot be innocent in all this. I begin the long descent to the prison, my boots slapping on the stones and echoing throughout the hall. I round one more set of stairs before crashing into the witch herself. Isolde steps back, trying to prevent the collision, but accidentally slips on the stairs. She falls backwards and I shut my eyes tightly, expecting her to hear the gut-wrenching sound of breaking bones, but the silence persists. I open my eyes and the witch floats to a stand. She looks at me so casually I cannot help my amazement. You could probably do it too if you wanted. Isolde laughs, stepping towards me, but I quickly jump away from her. She seems better than yesterday, more cheerful, but that does not mean I trust her. Sorry. Isolde stands in my path and continues to stare at me. Good morning. I nod, but I do not reply. She simply stares at her feet, shuffling them around like a toddler, and she looks everywhere but at me. Do you need anything? Water. I would like to wash my face, please. Isolde nods enthusiastically, her nervous smile getting creepily large for something so small. I can do that. Please wait in the room, I'll fetch some. She begins to walk away, each step fainter and fainter until... Oh, would you like hot water or cold water? Warm would be nice. Yes, of course. Isolde walks down the stairs. When she turns the bend, I run after her, but there's no sign There's no one there any longer. I decided to continue downstairs as fast as I can manage. I can barely breathe, my lungs start to ache, and my legs become sore, but I run faster and faster until I finally hear a familiar voice calling my name. Yo-hoo! Yo, good morning there, Yuri God! I try to answer, but it is difficult when all my lungs want is air. Priya laughs, watching me from the center of the cell. She is sitting cross-legged and shoveling a spoonful of something onto her mouth. Yo, just came back from a morning run, have ya? Seriously, why'd you look white as a sheet, Yuri God? Looks like you seen it. Yo, hey, did you just catch sight of that witch just now? I nod, heaving and trying to suck in as much air as my lungs will allow. Yo, great! What? Yo, did she give you the key? I open my mouth to answer, but suddenly Priya's eyes linger to a strange presence behind me. I turn to see Solei. Yo, morning, Warden! I told you to go to the room. You shouldn't be in here. Yo, can't you see the girl's bored from being in that room, is he? Is he? That's her nickname? Yo, she probably want to play a game or something. Yeah, that's right. Priya was merely going to teach me a card game. You know her name. You just told me her name. Oh, maybe I did. Ha! Lied, bitch! I just wanted to... Because Priya told me not to fuck things up. We never met before, remember? The witch's face scrunches up as she tries to figure it all out. I just hope that she believes me. Okay, if you say so. Yo, of course she says so. All this time here is really rather your brain, Izzy. Solei. No, I like Izzy a lot better. Izzy looks at me as if pleading for me to speak. Out of the corner of my eye, I can also see Priya doing the same thing, both of them wanting very different things from me. However, I only trust one of them. Of course. How else would I know? Okay, now please come with me. The water will be getting cold. And I found some lavender for the water. I think you'll like it, maybe. But I want to stay here. You do? Yo, yeah, remember that game I mentioned? Well, we ain't gonna get around to playing it. I mean, we ain't got the cards to do anything, which is why she's been waiting here for you. Me? I get to play too? Yo, of course you do! But we'll need the cards first, yeah? Solei suddenly turns to me. And do you want to play? I open my mouth to speak, but Priya pitches in first. Of course she does! She just hopping with the anticipation, ain't ya? I don't know, it's weird, because I started off with that kind of like, yo, voice, but now it's kind of into that southern accent, which I think is what they were intending. At least, I don't know if this is translated. I don't know if it's in Japanese first. I mean, it's in kind of British English, so perhaps it is just an English game, but either way, I nod. Then I'll go catch some cards. Maybe the tarot's okay? They're perfect! Okay, then please wait here. Isolde leaves the room, and Priya breathes out a long sigh of relief. I would do the same, but I cannot shake the feeling that this would be premature. Yo, I almost feel sorry for her. You too? I ain't a monster. And if she weren't, I'd be out of here by now. But can't feel sorry for the devil for following, can we? Shame. She has a nice rack. What are tarots, by the way? I'd be tickled if I knew. Wherever they are, they gotta agree with our little game, didn't they? The woman scrapes the last remains from her bowl and makes a loud, satisfied noise. Yo, boy, that girl can cook. Haven't had porridge like that. Haven't had porridge like that ain't made me hurl since my mom was alive. Your mother is dead? No, her ma. Like, I call her ma too, 'cause my ma called her ma. So, I end up with both calling her ma. To your grandma. And ma been dead for years now. She rests right next to that sucker that pretended to be my pa. Your father is dead? Probably. Never met the guy. Person like that belongs in a grave, don't you think? I never got the chance to answer her before Solei returns with a stack of long, beautifully printed cards. I brought my best set. Solei hands the cards to Priya. Yeah, so how do we play? Solei sits by the cell, although she keeps a fair distance from the steel bars. I sit closer to Priya and watch as she flicks through the cards with a perplexed look. I've never played a game with these before. We probably shouldn't be playing with fate like this, but just one should be okay. What exactly does she mean by fate? Yo, you know what? How about we do something a little different? I saw a lady once used to come by to tell my pa's fortune. The fool only sent her his money on two things, booze and omens. So I think I can use these a little. But you said... No, let me finish. So I got a long and complicated past. When I was younger... What? Backstory time. When I was younger, men would come in and out of my life like a passing wind. And, well, I can't say much has changed now, except I'm a lot older and hella wiser. But I'm wondering if y'all can just tell me what that past is. Priya places two cards down, and a third and last card. She has to think long and hard about it. Oh, I like this. She's cute. Finally, she places the last card down, pointing it towards herself. So which one is it gonna be? Which card reveals my past for you to see? All these cards, which do you think is the true me? Interesting. I'm not really familiar with tarot. Vaguely remember tarot. I feel like she's kind of the Empress. I touch the final card that Priya had put down. With a laugh, she picks it up and makes a long humming noise. Yo, so this is what you think of me then? Why did I choose incorrectly? Yo, the Empress is very, it's a card like no other. It tells a story equal to its magnificence. Though where it begins ain't the place you'd expect. And where it ends, well, right here in this jail cell, if you can believe it. So, did I get it wrong? No, you got a keen eye for the truth, don't you? Just like this card, I have a glorious life. My father squandered all our riches, and now we got nothing in my mom and I. That's why I am the way I am. Just wanting to be a true hero and right all the wrongs of my pa. That's why I steal from the poor and sell to the rich. That's fucked up. What? You don't mean steal? Don't you mean steal from the rich and give it to the poor? Yo, why? Are you offering? Solei stands up abruptly, looking down at me. Whatever nerve made her act just now has withered away already, and she nervously begins to try and thread a sentence together. I think this is enough playing around now. What? But we're only getting started, is he? Made a fool of fate Oh, you made a fool of fate already. It ends now. I should never have used these cards like this in the first place. Izzy gathers the tarots. When she goes to take the Empress back from Priya, the woman just holds it away from the witch, taunting her. Return it, now! Or what? You'll make me? Don't force my hand again, Priya. Yo, well, I've never been very good at following orders or being a hero, but it's worth the effort that counts, right? Priya hands the card back to Isolde, but does not let go of it. The brunette smiles mischievously as the other woman before finally letting go, much to her clear aggravation. You'll bring misfortune to yourself, you know? Yo, is that a threat? No, but please be good and... Isolde turns to me with shame in her eyes as she holds her hand out, motioning towards the door. Please, come with me. I look to Priya, but she has already lost interest in both of us. Instead, she buries herself by bending a spoon into shapes with her bare hands. I turn to follow Isolde up the bedroom, leaving Priya behind. As we climb the stairs, Isolde stops and turns to look at me in the eye. You shouldn't speak with her anymore. And please don't leave the room without me. I promise that I'll pay more attention to you, but please don't disobey me, please. What? What the fuck, man? I do not agree to anything, but Isolde doesn't seem to care very much about my answer either way. She holds the door of the bedroom open for me, shutting it again in seconds after I pass through the frame. Once in the room, I notice the bowl of water sitting beside the bed waiting for me. It is cold, and I can barely stand to dip my hands into it. The spring of lavender has sunk into the bottom, leaving a bitter and overpowering smell to the water. All reservations I had about the witch harden. I just pray that it will not be too much longer before Priya and I can escape from this place together. I wash my face and clean my body as best as I can. It must kind of suck without like a bath or a shower or anything, just a bucket. Although I do wish I had fresh clothes to wear, I am somewhat comforted with this familiar smell of home. Even if my position at home has not always been easy to accept, it is the only home I have. Thinking about it in the dream, I slowly begin to wonder whether the home is a place worth returning to, however. When I finish getting dressed, there's a knock on the door. Ellipses. The voice is too quiet to carry through the thick slab of wood. After a moment, there's another knock at the door. The sound continues until I open the door. As I had suspected, standing there is Solei, looking like a pup with its tail between its legs. She holds a bowl of orange-colored soup out for me. Unfortunately, it smells too good to pass up. Good afternoon, or Yuri God. What did you just call me? That's not... The soup shakes in her hands as her face cycles through a color wheel of embarrassment. I never asked you for your name. You were angry when we first met. I didn't know it, but I'm not blaming you. I just didn't know what to say, and I didn't ask. Then I couldn't wanted to, but it was too late. Just didn't know how to. Then Priya called you that, so I thought your name was Amarante. Not Yuri God? Not usually. Oh, Amarante it is. Can I come in, Amarante? Ran is also fine. But oh, thank you. Amarante it is. Soup? I take the bowl and step away from the door. Isolde walks to the center of the room, standing there while watching me. As I take a seat on the bed and lift the spoon to my mouth, Isolde takes a step forward. It might be hot, and you should blow on it first. I do as she said, finally taking a bite after a moment. As I suspect, the soup is very velvety and warm. It is hard to believe that a witch could make something so comforting. When I finish the soup, Isolde rushes forward to collect the empty bowl and soup from my lap. And she, thank you, Amarante. Isolde watches me. When I do not reply, her shoulders begin to sag, her head slowly drooping until she is almost hunched over the bowl in her hands. If you're bored, maybe we would like to... No. Huh? The witch head bounces up and stares at me. Her intense gaze quickly makes me uncomfortable. I just thought you were bored before, and I do not want anything to do with you. Solei hugs the bowl closer to her chest before shuffling away from me. If that is what you want. The witch leaves the room. Without the faintest sound, she shuts the door. I sit on my bed and try not to think about Priya or Isolde. Neither of them make any sense to me. All I want to do is go home. Then again, before this all happened, the only thing I ever wanted was to be away from that place, where the heart wants, what the heart cannot want. Not ever. I stay in the room for as long as I can, but being so high up in this cramped space is making me more than a little stir crazy. I open the door and quickly as I can manage, listening to the hallway for any signs of the witch. I start to get the feeling that she has gone out like before. With any luck, now be the perfect time to find Priya and get out of here. I hurry down the steps, but I do not make it far before I hear a door open. I turn back, trying to run up the stairs. When I get there, Isolde is already sitting on the bed. Shit. She's already there? That's fucking creepy. I told you not to. I looked down at a bunch of silver keys on her lap. I only have to grab them, and then I'll be able to make my leave. I will be able to help Priya get away, too. Isolde grips the material of her dress, and the keys jangle temporarily. I wanted to help, but you won't let me. Please let me. I want the keys. Why do you want them? Just give them to me. I lunge toward the keys, but Isolde holds them away from me. No. I thought, Amarante, that you weren't happy where you were, and Priya, she's not the witch who kidnapped me? She's not what you think. But if you won't listen to me, then... Isolde leaves the room, not even looking back as she walks down the stairs. I get up to follow her, but the moment I move, the door slams in my face. A resolute sound of a lock turning seals me inside the room. Isolde! I slam my fist on the door and then desperately twist the doorknob, but to no avail. I shout as loud as I can manage, but the lock never opens and Isolde does not come back. Priya! Even though there is nothing she can do, something about calling her name, screaming until my throat grows hoarse and my lungs hurt, does not feel so hopeless. There is a slither of a possibility that Priya will hear me, and somehow, some way, we will be able to escape together. Isolde was right about one thing, however. I was not happy where I was before, but I'm not happy here either. With Priya, however, maybe there was somewhere we could be happy together. Priya! Let me out! I have never shouted like this before. I have never had a reason to shout to the degree that every last breath has been squeezed from my lungs. My throat quickly begins to ache. Isolde! I've never kicked something so hard that I hurt myself from it. Answer me now, or eh! I've never screamed, and in the middle of it I started to laugh. Laugh as if my life was the most miserable joke of them all. And I am its punchline. I scream as loud as I am able to. It no longer matters whether or not anyone can hear me. I yell and screech at the top of my lungs until all the frustration inside me is dissipated. It seems to take forever. There are so many thoughts I have never wanted to put into words. Now, however, I want to make them known in the most primitive of ways. Scream, shout, and break into tears. I swiftly clamp my mouth closed and I feel a dampness on my cheeks. I'm almost surprised. In the silence, I lose the will to be angry. An overwhelming sadness takes its place. The feeling is so familiar that it's almost comedic. I feel at home, being trapped in my only sorrows for company. I force myself to crawl into bed, letting all the horrid feelings settle into the pit of my stomach. I feel the weight of my anxieties weigh down until I'm finally asleep. I wake to the faintest sound of a key turning the lock. My mind begins to spur into action, but my body and heart simply are not in it. I turn away and throw the blanket over my head. It must be the witch trying to fat me up as always. She sees that I'm sleeping. Perhaps she will leave me well enough alone and stop that cordial charade of hers. Careful footsteps approach my bed. My face feels hot under all the blankets, but I do not dare move. The bed dips as the witch sits down. I wait patiently for her to leave, but then I feel her hand brush across the lines of my body and grip at the blankets. I bite my lip, wondering what to do. If I hold onto the blanket, then the witch will know that I'm not really asleep, but if she pulls it, the blankets are thrown away from my body. A scream bubbles up in my throat until I realize the face before me is not what I have been expecting. Yo, and hi to you too, you're a god. Priya! I throw my arms around her and hug her. Oh. Gods. Was her sleeve always that red? She's bleeding, isn't she? I throw my arms around her and hug her tightly. If I were not so surprised and happy, perhaps I would be shocked at my own forwardness. What a reception! I'm just so relieved that you're here. Overjoyed enough that I've forgotten the impossibility of this truly happening. Yep, her whole side. That's gotta be blood, right? My happiness instantly displaced by curiosity, and I hold Priya at arm's length, wondering if it's real. It is you, is it not? Yo, who else would it be? But how are you here? You were locked in that cell, and the witch, she... Oh, Priya, I'm so pleased to see you, but it just seems so impossible. I'm the hero here, remember? Stories like these tend to work in my favor. That's not a very straight answer. I guess it isn't. Priya says no more, her wry smile calling the conversation to an end. Just be glad to see me and leave it at that. I am, of course. Priya runs her hands through my hair. I feel my face warm at her touch. My happiness becomes something far more potent as I realize the situation I'm in. This woman should not be here for a number of reasons beyond even the obvious impracticalities of her escape. You shouldn't be here. The witch might... Yo, already taken care of. Like I said, I've the fates of fairy tale fortune on my side. How? I'm afraid you'll be spared all the gory details. Did she... Is that not her blood? That's the witch. Dude, should she just stab the witch? Priya, you're a badass. What? No way. I look Priya over and notice several red spots staining her clothes. She follows my gaze to her sleeve and laughs it away. I thought I cleaned everything off. That was careless of me. She looks herself over, spotting more of the red patches and even a tear in her dress that reveals a shallow wound. You're bleeding. So I am. Looks like this dress is ruined. The brunette loosens the ties around her waist, presenting a short glimpse of her yellow undergarments. Priya, stop. I pull her hands away from her clothes, but it is already much too late. The front of her dress falls open, leaving very little to the imagination. I avert my gaze, but even worse than seeing Priya look so indecent is her laughter at my clear discomfort. Well, it's gonna come off anyway. Not before you find another blouse, and not while I'm in the room. That's not how one should behave. But my words only make her laugh harder. You should not waste time laughing, Priya. The sooner you are dressed, the sooner we can leave. Yo, can't argue that, but doesn't that just make you sad? Of course not. I want to leave this as soon as possible, and... Priya loosens a few strands of hair behind her ear, the tips of her fingernails grazing my skin. You sure about that? You're looking a little flushed. Sure you don't want to lie down? That can't be her. I feel perfectly fine. No way. She wouldn't double take on that. I bat Priya's hand away. The problem is that by avoiding her eyes, I'm faced with her open blouse. When I turn away from her completely, the roars of laughter is too loud and infuriatingly cocky. Yo, just making sure you've thought it all through. Of course I have. I'm happy to be going home. Very happy. I just simply do not believe the words are coming out of my own mouth. The moment I am home and Priya is gone, it will all be over and the rest of my life will begin. I should find you something decent to wear. I dive into the task, rummaging through a nearby chest. But I cannot entertain this silly notion that Priya is trying to plant in my head. I have to return home. I have responsibilities and everyone at home will be worried. Yo, there's no rush, you know? I don't think that's the case. I'm sure your highest bidder can wait a few moons. Bidder? Priya, what are you completely misunderstanding? Don't look so ashamed. You wouldn't be the first auction princess I've come across. I was not auctioned. I was betrothed to someone who was going to have a lot of fun with them, I'm sure. And if we're being realistic about your prospects, that's all fine and dandy, but aren't you ready to rush? Are you really ready to rush on back to all that? What other choice do I have? Plenty. You just gotta look for them. Last place I want is to find the choices. Those choices is something within something I will have to let go of. Forever is a fairy tale, you know. Dear God, only moments are guaranteed. What do you know? There's a moment right here just waiting for you. Are you gonna let it go by? I stand up, avoiding Priya's gaze, head for the door. Yes. If you will not take me seriously, then I will simply have to return home by myself. It was nice meeting you. Priya. Holy shit! What? Priya pushes me against the wall, pressing her mouth into mine. Wow. Well, she is assertive. Can we save that? Quick save complete. Yo, do I have... Oh, you can only have one save. Interesting. Nani? Neither of us look away from the other's gaze, despite what our mouths are doing. Beyond the shock of it, I do not feel myself being swept away by the action. Rather, I feel disappointed by it. A kiss from one you feel so strongly about should not shatter worlds, and should it not shatter worlds, suspends one's belief of everything they know? Instead, my mind does not cease to work, and more importantly, all of my reservations continue to pierce my heart. I don't know if that's really her. Because she said, do you really want to leave? She seemed so confident about leaving before. Should I indulge in it, though? There's no save option from here, but I'm glad I saved where I did. Indulge in it. I grab her arm and consider pushing it away and running, but I never turn that thought into a reality. As the seconds tick by, with each thrumming heartbeat, the shocks wear away and my grip on her arm slackens. I guess you don't want to leave yet. Using her thumb, Priya props my head up, looking down on me with a tiny smirk. She appears to be ready to laugh at my dazed expression. Did you really not see this coming? I shake my head. Priya snickers, her warm breath brushing over my lips. You're so sweet. Priya kisses me, and this time I return it. Her kisses never linger for more than a second, but always seem to be slightly off, too far up or too far to the right. The worst part about it is she's clearly doing it deliberately. I pull away, not wanting to give her more satisfaction. What? You're teasing me. Have you never kissed anyone before? It's a lot more fun this way. Not for me. It ain't always about you, Yuri God. Priya is correct, but it's not always about you either. You're not wrong, she laughs at me. I try to look away, but Priya holds my chin firmly, keeping me in place. Her intense gaze makes me want to shrink backwards into the wall. Why are you staring at me so much? I like to know when I'm doing something right. Can't tell which eye with my eyes closed. Oh. You can close your eyes. You can close your eyes if it puts you off. No, I want to see you too. Because you don't trust me? Because I... The brunette kisses me hard, enough that the words I want to say get lost in her mouth. The smacker of our lips sounds so loud in my ears that it is almost grotesque. Once again, I have the feeling that this is something Priya deliberately does. I try to speak, but she does not leave me room for that, slipping her tongue into my mouth. Her lips quip up into a smile as a tiny squeal slips out of my throat. Priya's stare softens. I have seen this look in her eyes enough times to realize that she is laughing at me, but for once I do not mind it. Her tongue searches mine, usurping from the position and deepening the kiss. Slowly she pulls away, but the empty feeling of my mouth is now far stronger. I decide to follow along, trying to get close to her to maintain the kiss. She continues to pull away, inch by inch, dodging my greedy mouth and chuckling at my desperation. See, Yuri God, it's fun to play with your food. She kisses me once more, my tongue licking around within her mouth, wanting the same deep kiss from before. Finally, she gives it to me. Her teeth suddenly clamp down hard, imprisoning my tongue within her. I whimper. The more noise I make, the more she teases me, dragging her teeth along my tongue, only to suck it back inside all over again. Priya's kisses are rougher and rougher, but she never takes her eyes off me for a second. It's unnerving at first, but I cannot help myself from peering back at her. I want to see her, feel her, and continue kissing her until I do not know where she begins and I end. I break apart. Priya speaks out. With each word she lets out a ragged breath. Ah, told ya. We'd work on that. On what? Getting your kisses a little more south of my forehead. I blush, remembering how I had given her my lips before. It had only been a jest, however. I never could have imagined that this would occur. I do not realize that you were serious about that. Aren't I always serious? I don't know if the witch would know that, though. So maybe it is her. No, not quite. Well, I am now, so how about it? How about what? Ain't it obvious? Or do I really have to ask? I look away, my mind pretending not to understand what she's proposing. Even if her words can be ignored, it's difficult to ignore her intense gaze. Do you want me to ask? She brushes her thumb across my lips, causing them to gape open as she draws closer. Do you want me to beg Amarante? I feel her lips press close against mine to taste her breath and chuckles as she pulls away again. It ain't hard to guess your answer, but I ain't 100% sure on your dedication to it. Her eyes drift away from my face, trailing over my body in a slow, deliberate way. So you're gonna let me have your lips, Yuri God? Her arms box me in, but do not touch me. Her chest brushes against mine only on the most exaggerated of breaths. Worst of all are the barely breathy sighs that paint my mouth with a taste of her kisses. I reach behind my back and unclasp my dress, my gaze dropping to the ground along with it. What? The cool air against my bare skin seems to only intensify the way that I am burning beneath Priya's gaze. A promise is a promise. I couldn't agree more. Priya. Oh shit. Well, good thing I had the underwear mode on, right guys? You guys didn't want to see this, right? What? Wait. Priya, this is too much. Yo. Jesus. What? Did you really think I was talking about the lips on your mouth? I already had those. But like this, I'm not gonna let you lie back and stargaze. I didn't take kindly to the pillow princess. I've never done anything like this before. Neither have I. At least not with candles still burning. Priya, just go with it. I rest my head. Okay. Ouch, my... Okay. So if you guys want to see that part in all its glory, just go and check it out. I rise the next morning to find myself with merely a hazy recollection of the day before. The witch locked me in this room, and then Priya, what she did to me, and I did to her, and then after that, I shake my head and gather my clothes, ready to put these misconceptions to an end. This has to be a mistake. She could not have escaped her cell. A dream. It must have been a dream, I'm sure of it. A terrible, terrible dream. Priya! So, the cell door is hanging off its hinges. A pool of blood is soaking on the floor inside of it. Priya, what did you do? The blood trails away, almost as if the injured person had been dragged down the stairs. I follow it to the front door. The front door hangs wide open, but beyond it, vines are waving together, trapping me inside. Priya. This is where Princess Amarante's story ends, trapped alone within the witch's tower, with neither a witch nor any unheroic rogue in sight. For many days and nights she will try and may to cut, break, and even burn the vines away. However, they will only grow stronger, her heart shrouding itself in feelings. Things will be okay once I return home. I'll get married and live the life I should. What happened? I mean, of course nothing happened. There's no one named Priya. I didn't do what I think I did to her. And when I'm home, I'll never again. These proclamations only make Amarante's cage grow stronger, sentencing her to a slowly wilt away within the witch's lonely, lonely tower. No way! She ditched. That's it. Wow. So she dies. The end, guys. Wow. Naive princess. Fair enough. She got caught. I got caught up in the moment, and shit went down. So, wow. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Click that thumbs up and down below for me if you haven't already, and make sure you go check out all my other stuff. I appreciate your time here, and I hope that you guys will, enjoy yours as well. And that's all.